The coach will get started with Tim Reynolds.
Erik, first off, can you speak to the significance of just what it must mean mentally to get back to 500 after where you were not even a couple of weeks ago?
It shows some character in that locker room. Just to keep on digging and trying to, have daily improvement and not get caught up in everything. This team's really been working. I mentioned before, for 6 weeks with real intention. There's been some disappointment, but we just, keep on forging ahead. And there's, constantly things that we can't control, and even tonight to have a little bit of adversity with Jimmy out, I thought guys really stepped up, and filled in a lot of different places to be able to help contribute to a win.
And secondly, Erik, the job, not just one person, but pretty much everybody, defensively, to take Trey out of the game, to take his scoring out of the game like that. How pleasing was that to see? And I'm guessing it worked probably as well as you could have drawn it up.
Yeah, look, great scores just make it a nightmare, for you. You have to be locked in and disciplined, and you have to be able to trust a system and each other, regardless of what the scheme is. And this has taken us some time, but while I don't know. At the end of the day, he missed, some looks. That's what it always comes down to, make or miss sometimes, but you try to make it tough, try to create a karma, for the game. We had some more multiple efforts again, particularly in that second half. We weren't able to make some shots. That's what I was looking for, to see if we could still defend. But Collins had a heck of a game, and we'll have to try to figure that out, for the next game.
And lastly, real quick, the job Precious did, just the energy and the emotion he was showing. How nice was that to see? Thank you, Erik.
Yeah, that's what we want. We don't want him to pace. We want everybody to make the most of their minutes, and you have to really make an impact. And with him, these were short bursts of 3 or 4 minutes. So you really shouldn't pace. Should be making multiple efforts like crazy, while you're trying to learn the league and learn our system, et cetera.
Next, we have Ira Winderman.
Erik, a couple of things. Tyler coming back, obviously it took him time to sort of get into a rhythm, but how important was he at closing time for you guys?
Yeah, that just shows you the kind of player he is. It looked like the majority of his minutes were out of rhythm offensively, even though he did some really good things defensively. With his efforts, you could just tell his timing is off, and that's what's crazy about this game. He has really been working behind the scenes, but there's nothing like getting out in a real game, to have that kind of feel. But once it got to the final 6 minutes, it all of a sudden clicked, and he was in great rhythm. He had the confidence. We were running a lot of our offense through him, and he was making the right reads, right plays.
How encouraging, heartening was it that you close without your ultimate closer? That so many guys stepped up and had their moments, whether it was Kendrick shot, Goran, Bam, Tyler. Really, you sort of had 4 guys who took on the role of maybe 4 different plays that Jimmy would have done by himself. How heartening was that?
You can probably point to a lot of these games where we've had guys out and guys have had to step into bigger roles and gain confidence. We've grown. We're much different than we were, earlier in the season offensively, trying to find that continuity.
Thank you.
Next, we have Barry Jackson. All right, Barry's not having a little issue. Let's go to Cooper Moorhead.
Hey, Spo, it was not Duncan's best shooting night, but how important was that? It was about 6 minutes to go out of I think it was a timeout. You guys needed a relief basket, and he made that read for the backdoor cut. He's had quite a few of those lately in some important moments. How important was that for him?
That off-ball movement is required. It's a necessity born out of how teams are playing him now. There's not a team that'll let him just come off on a handoff or some kind of pin down cleanly anymore. Those days are behind him. He's not going to get those days again ever probably in this league, and that's a great respect. And he's adapted already, greatly this year, learning how to move without the ball, learning how to cut, keep defenses honest at the rim, and then still finding the persistence to find different routes to be able to come off and get open. And I thought he did. His ball just didn't go. And that also shows you his growth. Probably 16 months ago, if he would have missed, the first 3 or 4, he never would have kept shooting, and he just kept on shooting, and that's why it'll turn for him.
All right, next we'll go back to Barry Jackson.
Sorry, everyone's going to point obviously to Kendrick's offensive play the last month, but just the completeness of his game, the 7 assists tonight, his effort on defense over the last month. How much has that growth made an impression on you?
Yeah, defensively, he's really helped us, and this has been a 1.5-year process of really learning our system, being held accountable to that, growing, comfortable, being able to defend different ways, and he has the ability to do it. So it really helps, especially against these really quick, skilled guards. And then offensively, he's just constantly in the gym, watching film, working on his quarterback reads. It's not really a mystery how he's gotten better, with all of that.
Want to ask you about Gabe as well, his defensive impact we saw during that key stretch, late first, early second.
Yeah, I think everybody was happy for him in the locker room. The vets see him, like all of our young guys, really working behind the scenes, preparing himself. And he's had good minutes, very good stretches, at different times in pockets of the last 6 weeks. But now that we've had more people together, I think more people are noticing. There was a big impact tonight. He's another one of those guys. Even though he's young, he's a veteran guy because he is a little bit older, and he's played full season in the G League, and you can put the ball in his hands. You can play him off the ball, and he just knows how to fit with different guys.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, Coach, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.